for the team in orange. Two northern teams go down from the NPL, Modbury and Para Hills, but the south is rising. The future is orange! Sturt Lions will be playing in the NPL for the second time!
Singing the geezers too, yeah, we're doing this thing.
Welcome to the podcast, the One Game at a Time show. Tonight we've got two club legends from Sturt Lions joining us, Lachlan Duffy and Alexander Sortini. Two players who've done just about everything for the club, probably besides putting the nets up, but I'm sure they had a role in rolling out the turf. So joining me on this studio, Marc, a former train-on player at Sturt, and then we might have a former Corinna tenant as well, and David Grant joining us later on. But just for now, we'll introduce the two guests. Is that your door?
Is it your door or my door?
I think this one's a bit west side, so I reckon we'll get see who it is.
Let me get my door. Hang on 1 second. I've got to actually get up these days. Oh, come on in, gentlemen. We've got Lachlan Duffy and Alex Sortini.
How you going, boys?
Hey, gentlemen. How are you?
So we've got these two on tonight. We've got a little bit of an intro for both of them. We'll start with Alexander Sortini, or I like to call him the Fel Perlo. We'll ask you a bit of your history about where you started, your junior career up to now, and just explain how you started in soccer and where it's taken you so far.
Yeah, I started playing a bit later than the average, I guess, player. I was in year 2 or year 3 and got a form at school asking what winter sport I wanted to play. And for some reason I chose soccer. I don't know why. Probably because I was small. I mean, I'm not big now, so you can imagine when I was in year 2, I was tiny. And soccer seemed a bit safer than footy. I didn't know, like my dad, was he coached and played a little bit when I was younger, but I didn't really know that at the time. So I just chose soccer and then, started playing school soccer, then played my first club season at NAB, which is now Eastern United, but they folded about a year after I was in under 9s, I think, and they folded. And then I hopped around a bit. I was at Adelaide City for a year, Cumberland, Campbelltown, and then eventually settled at Blue Eagles in under 16s, played 4 years there, maybe. Got to Resi's, training with the first team. We had the preseason cup back then, which Marc probably remember. So I played a bit of preseason cup, played it like crazy that the preseason cup used to be played at Highmarsh, the cup final for the preseason cup. So I got to play at Highmarsh in a preseason game, which was pretty fun. Then went to Berks for a year and then came to Sturt and then been stuck at Sturt ever since. So been here 11 years now. I think it's my 11th year. That's been my career so far.
Thank you for that, Alex. We'll go to Lachlan before we ask some questions and ask about what their seasons so far having. But we'll go to the same questions for you, Lachlan, and let us know how your journey went.
Yeah, so I probably started a bit later than Alex. I started playing soccer when I was at primary school and didn't start club until I was probably under 13s out at Modbury. So I played out there at Modbury Jets for 3 or 4 years. Then progressed and went out and played 18s and Resis out at Campbelltown for a bit, and then got a bit of first team experience there as well under Morris and then eventually Joe. And then 11 years ago, when John made the move over to Sturt with Alex, came out as well. So I've been here now 11 years. Out at Sturt, and it's changed a lot since 11 years ago when we first moved out there, like Alex would remember. But the facility we've got now, it's incredible considering where we came from as a club. So pretty short compared to Alex's endeavours playing footy, but all the same.
Well, the reason we got you guys on tonight, of course, is because of your promotion winning on the weekend. Both you guys, of course, being part of your third promotion as well. We'll just, I guess, have a broad question out for both of you, what this championship feels like compared to the others. And, of course, the first league title in the Sturt's men's history. Of course, the women won in 2023 a league title. But for you guys getting promoted, I don't know if people would say the less, not the easy way, but the less contentious way, the less anxious way to get there, and doing it in the league title instead of a grand final. How did that feel for the both of you guys?
You want to go? Or?
Yeah, I'll go first. Yeah, that's one. Yeah, it's pretty special. I think being first past the post is always a great achievement, and like you said, it's probably you've got more control in it that way. We definitely set out at the start of the year to make sure that was our goal, and to make sure that we did that. And in terms of how it feels compared to the others, I guess winning a grand final is always special. Like you said, there's a lot of pressure on the day, but this one's pretty special because it's been a consistent effort. You know, it's been not just one game, it's been 18 games so far to date. And it's been all the preseason beforehand. It's been all the effort from, you know, not just the players, but the coach, the support staff, and all the club as well. Like we can't get there without them to give us the opportunity to make sure we play at that level. So, yeah, Saturday was pretty special, especially being able to do it at home at Corinna. It was really enjoyable. It was great.
Yeah, I would agree. I think the other two times we got promoted, we had to go through a final series and win a grand final to get there. It's the first time that we have done it in the season. It feels a little different. Obviously, in the grand final, you're like all hyped up for the day, and then you're all jittery the whole time. So I don't know. It's a massive achievement to do it over and to do it in the manner which we've done it. We've done it so quickly, and we've been very consistent. So yeah, it feels amazing. And on top of that, like Lockie said, to do it at Corinna, a new ground for us, our historic ground that we didn't play on for so many years. Every time we won it the last time, we didn't have anywhere to go to after. We didn't have a club room, so it feels good and to bring a trophy, even though we didn't get the trophy yet, but it feels good to have that celebration at Corinna. Create some history at the ground and give it a little bit of character.
I guess we'll go to some of the questions now from Marc and myself, and David if he joins as well. But talking to both of you again, both of you one of the top 5 appearance makers as well this season. Lachlan celebrating his 200th game as a senior player this year as well. I think he must have played over about 200 just for Sturt as well, which is a great achievement to see for both of you as well. Just want to talk about some of your other times in the NPL as well. What do you think is going to be different this year, and what is the new coach changed since the last time you were there in the NPL?
So what was the end of the question?
It's a bit of a double one, but what's the different? What is the difference between having the coaches that brought you to the NPL the first time and this one bringing you to the NPL the third time? I think I can't remember who the first coach was, but
it was Chris.
John and Chris.
Chris got it the first time, but then unfortunately he had to step down in pre-season, so Lino ended up taking over, and then we went down, and Lino got us back up, and we went down again, and now John has got us back up. I think the first time that we went up was a bit of a shock. It was our third year there. We didn't really expect to achieve so much so quickly, so it was a big shock for a lot of us. We were still quite young. Even the last time we went up, we weren't young, but we were 26, 27. Now most of us are 30. The core that have been here so long, we're much more experienced. And I think, the difference last time and even the first time was like for Lockie and I, and Lockie can speak if he agrees with it or not, but we were younger players. Our job was more to drive the energy and that sort of role. Like when you're younger, you've got to work hard, you've got to be buzzing around all the time. But now, next year we'll be the more senior players. Our job will be to calm the younger players down and bring some composure. I'm 30, Lockie's 30, Jacob and Mick Maroney, we're all older players. Our job will be to calm everyone down. It's okay, relax. When things aren't going well, it doesn't matter. It's okay. We know what to do here. Just everyone keep their heads. So I think that'll be probably a different role for Lockie and I being a bit older. And, in terms of we had 3 coaches all get us promoted now. Each one's a little bit different. You guys both know John. We've all played with John before. He's been around a long time. He's extremely experienced in the local league. It's hard to find. You'd be very hard pressed to find a player in the local league as experienced as him, just based on the games he's played. So, he has done it before. He's been up twice with us before. He's also got relegated twice with us before. So, hopefully he can bring a bit of the experience of the moments he had in those games especially to the younger boys who they haven't experienced what it's like in NPL, where you can go from beating Campbelltown at Campbelltown one week and then you lose to the second bottom side the next week at home. It's a very, very tight league. So, yeah, I think he'll help with that a little bit.
Yeah, I think, just going off the back of what Alex said, I guess the first two times, obviously, the first time we finished 5th and ended up going through, so it was a bit unexpected. And then the second time was obviously during that COVID era, so football in general and life was all a bit different. And I guess now we're at a third promotion, so for the core group of us who have been there, like it's a bit of a different position and role we'll be playing in the team, but it's just exciting. I guess the group we've got at the moment, like we were talking about it on Saturday, there's a group of young boys who were like 13 and 14 when we first got promoted, who are now part of that team. So I guess they've got that belief in them, their juniors coming up through the club. So it's good to see. And I think like one good thing that John does bring about is he drives a standard, drives expectation. He's got Justin Bralish there as well. They've both been around for a long time. And that filters through not just to the senior players, but to the young players as well. That, it's okay it's not just okay to win. It's about how you go about winning and how you perform on a Saturday. So I think that's been a big shift this year.
Obviously, with your last time in the NPL, for you, Alex, you had a good starring first year back in the NPL, getting goal of the week, getting, I think it was 6 goals as well in that first year, going back into the NPL as well. What do you expect this time going back into it? I mean, you've had one of your best scoring runs this year in the State League, but going back into the NPL off form like this as well, do you expect to have such a good first year back in it like 2021?
I think, I don't know. I mean, I've never really been a prolific goal scorer, and I had a little purple patch at the start of the year. I was pretty lucky. The ball kept just falling on my foot and going in the goals. I think I'm very, very, very fortunate that at the moment, the system we're playing and the way John wants to play, it allows me to have a lot of freedom and support to get forward and to get into the box. And, with any sort of football standard, but especially in the local league, you get in the box more often than not, you'll probably get on the end of something. Doesn't mean you're going to score, but, this year I've just been doing that, getting in the box, and it's been falling to me. So I think as long as the system doesn't change too much and John wants to keep me around and doesn't sign a superstar to play at 10, then, hopefully I can chip in with another 6-7 goals again next year and have a good year. But, for me now, I'm not young. I mean, not old, but not young. I'm getting older. So, I don't know how many more years I have at this level. So it'll be just about enjoying it and helping the young boys, acclimatise to the NPL.
And for you, Lockie, I mean, last time you guys were promoted, you were unfortunately out with an ACL for most of that first year back in the Premier League when they made the preliminary final and had such a good year. But you did play in those 2022 and 2023 years. What do you expect and for coming into the NPL in your first season back there as well? And do you feel like that coming through that journey of doing ACL and having the rehab whole year and getting back confident in yourself that you'll be one of the big leaders for them in the NPL next year, and you'll finally have that redemption from that season and get that success in the NPL that you weren't on the pitch for in 2021?
Yeah, I guess I did miss out on that, and personally, that was unfortunate for me. But it was just great to see the boys, come together in that first year back in the NPL and really take it to everyone. They played their system well and just ground out games. So I think it's just going to be a lot of that as well. Just knowing what we do well, making sure that we execute that on a Saturday and just play to our system. Looking forward to it, like you said, missed out on that year. So just every game, it's just a challenge. It's great to be out there, and it doesn't bother me where I play, as long as I'm out there with the team and with the boys. That's the enjoyable part of it. So as long as I'm there, that's all that matters.
Yeah, as long as you're not.
And you're not, yeah.
Yeah. We're in trouble if I'm playing.
Yeah, that was one of my other points. You're not just known for having your shin pads around your ankles, but you actually are known for having some good headed goals, and you were part of a lot of set pieces in the early years as well. So do you think maybe next year, now that you haven't got a slow centre back like John next to you, you can actually get up for them as well?
Yeah, I might just become the slow centre back that stays at the back for the set pieces. So yeah, we'll see what happens. No, I don't mind getting forward. Sometimes someone's got to put Alex in his place and show him how you actually score goals. But he's been doing well this year, so it's been all right.
And of course, with your both of you guys getting so many appearances recently as well, I think both of you are chasing that John record for the most at the club as well. So are both of you happy about racking up those games and being a real a big leader and a role model for a lot of the players that are younger at Sturt who might not have been there as long as you guys, but can really see that staying around for how long you guys have and improving all these years? Are you guys expecting that you're going to inspire a lot of youngsters to stay so long at a club like you guys have?
Yeah, I think, like I might touch on before, we've got a really good core group at the moment, not just of older players, but younger players as well, and some that have been at the club for a long time. So I think there is a lot of buy-in. I think they're very committed, and those boys really do appreciate and do love Sturt. They're very proud of coming up through and representing at the senior level. So yeah, I think we'll do all right. I'm enjoying being around them as well. Like Alex said, getting probably towards the back end of the career, but still think I'm 19 or 20 sometimes. So it's good to hang out with them on the field and off the field as well sometimes. So yeah, it's good.
And finally, sorry, you go.
No, I was just going to say that it's really we're really fortunate to be allowed to stay at the club for so long. Not yes, we have stayed, but also the clubs have been happy to keep us around for 11 years, even when we've both had, performance drops or bad years. They haven't gone out and, like you said, we've got promoted 3 times, but that means we've got relegated twice. And both those times, the club didn't go out and make wholesale changes or tell us we need to go. They've stuck by us. I broke my leg, stuck by me. Lockie did his ACL. And so, the least we can do is reward that with some good performances. Plus, every club needs some of those players that just, become part of the furniture. City have Bucco, for example. Even in the State League, Showen at Cumberland, Barbs and Gowie at Metro, they're always there. Some consistency, and every club needs sort of that. And so I'm fortunate enough that I can provide that, because in another career, in another life, I would be, I wouldn't have the opportunity to stay at one club and have the success that we've been lucky to have.
And finally, of course, on the weekend, because you guys are both part of the leadership group, we saw Lachlan with the armband as well. I wanted to just quickly ask Alex, because he also had worn the armband once at the club from the start of the game. And obviously, both of you had different 2 different ends of the spectrum of how both those results went. I mean, Lachlan was part of this one where you guys clinched the title, and obviously very proud to lead out the boys in that game. But Alex, can you tell us more about the time when you led out the boys with the captain's armband in, I think it was 2021?
Yeah. Before I say that, I think it's important to note Lockie didn't finish the game with the armband, so that's just one very important little asterisk against his name. And
the game might have been done by that point, wasn't it?
No, the game that I was lucky enough to captain the club out from the start, we had a cup game against City on a Wednesday night, and the reason I got the armband was because we rested a few of our senior players, because the cup wasn't important to us, and we were trying to focus on our league. We were trying to stay up in the Premier League, so the cup wasn't first and foremost. But as you can imagine, not really the side that you want to be resting a lot of your senior players for. And I think we were 3-0 down at half-time or 4-0 down at half-time. It wasn't a fun day, but I did manage to score a goal. I actually scored a goal it got cut back. I scored from outside the box, and I think we ended up losing 4-2. We made, I reckon, 6 changes at half-time. Yeah, we made a lot of changes at half-time. However many you're allowed to make, we made all of those. So first half, I thought, I'm never going to wear this armband again. I'm going to burn it. But second half, I got some little bit of my dignity back, but not as good as Lockie's experience with the armband. No.
1 from 1.
I'll let you ask some questions now, Mark. That's about all I have. But yeah.
All right. I was going to start with, as you guys mentioned, it's been three promotions, different coaches. You've both been around a long time. I'm going to put you on the spot. Who's been the most favourite to have won the promotion with? And that's not just laughs. I'm talking brand of football, feeling amongst the players, the camaraderie around the change rooms and things like that.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, I think the first time we did it, like in 2017, it was really unexpected, and we went through finals. I think just before finals, we went on a bit of a run where we were winning some games, and then through finals, we were just putting wins together. And I think at that time, like, we were sky high. We're like, how good's this? Like, shouldn't be here, but we're here. We're knocking all these teams off. Then we get there. And, there was whispers that Western Strikers were going on holidays the next day as a team after the grand final. We're like, how good would this be if we knocked them off? And we did. So that moment, that probably like 6 or 8 weeks was pretty amazing as a group. And especially when it was unexpected for us to do that. But like this year, I don't know, it's pretty hard to describe how close the team and the club as a group have come together, not just our team, but, the Resis and the 18s. So, yeah, I'd say either this year or the first one. The first one was pretty special, I think. So, yeah, it can't be discounted.
Yeah, I think this year's freshest in my mind. I'm probably still tired from celebrating. So, but, yeah, no, Lockie's right. This year, it's also, the first time we won, I was 22. This time I'm the 31-year-old watching the 22-year-olds. Or 18-year-olds, dance in the change room and do stupid things. So it's a different perspective. But for me, this year's really, really good. Each one has their own little thing. The first one we're at High March, which you don't get to do anymore. So that's a little special moment. But 2020,
how good was that?
Yeah.
The best. Like you just don't, even though half the stadium's empty because you only get 1,000 people there.
It's still the carpet though. It's still High March. It's still
exactly.
The carpet.
It doesn't get better. You get the big showers after. You get all 15 of you standing in one room. Like, it's the best.
So that's 15 in the one shower, but yeah.
Yeah. But 2020, we it was that COVID year. So we played our grand final on like December 20th or on a Thursday night.
Ridiculously late. Yeah, and it was at Apex as well.
It was at Apex, and the group that we had that year, we're all 25 years old, around the same age, and we formed there was probably 6 or 7 of us 25. We actually formed, like, we're still mates now. We all went to one of their wedding the other month or whatever. But because you couldn't get into the ground without a ticket because it was COVID, they had to sell tickets, which means no one wanted to miss out. If it was a normal week, people like my sister would be like, oh, I'll see if I can go on the day and let's make the decision. But she didn't have that option. She had to buy a ticket. So all of a sudden the game was sold out. And there's people, climbing on the fence or climbing on a container to have a look. And there's a flare being thrown on the pitch. And, that sort of atmosphere in such a small ground and so many, I think there was 2,000 people there. It felt like almost you were playing in a half professional game because it was sold out sort of thing. So for me, that grand final is hard to beat, but because it was COVID, we couldn't celebrate as much as we did on the weekend that just passed. So, yeah.
No, that's fair enough. And leading on to you, as you boys have mentioned, you're the older boys of the team, and you're still younger than me. How do you guys go about integrating? Because obviously you've had a few changes this year with new players coming in, players leaving and things like that. And that's normal. Every year you get a few leave, a few come in. How do you guys go about being a leadership group? How do you go about integrating those new players into a squad that is, and I can speak from experience, it's very hard to break into that squad. It's very hard to get into, to break into it. And it's almost a respect thing I found when I was there with you guys. It was about proving myself at training to make sure you guys go, oh, yeah, actually, fair enough. Is it still the same way? Is it what sort of the differences there? Is it not as respect orientated? Is it more, we've just got to get them in and make sure they fit in? Or is it, how do you guys work that these days?
I think probably the new players that we have brought in we're all older. Like we brought in Joey, Thanas and Munners. So they were all, established players. Joey and Thanas obviously won the league last year. Munners we've known he's one of my closest friends. So I've known him a long time. So the respect is already there. I know what they're bringing to the table. With the young kids that have come into the side, like Sean broke in last year, but still young. Another one named Eddie broke in, who started pretty much playing every week, and there was another young one, Watto, who came from Strikers, I believe. I think, yes, I think their quality was there from the start, and I think probably what got them over the line, got everyone integrated really quickly, is their commitment to Sturt. Like Sean and Ed, for example, have been at the club since under 8s. They've been at the club their whole life. So they are committed to the cause from day one. They didn't need to buy in. They already bought tickets. They were there when we won both leagues. They were 10 years old watching us lift the trophy. They
were the ball boys that day, probably.
Yeah, no, so Sean said to me on Saturday night, he was like, when you won at High Marsh, I was a ball boy that day, legitimately. Yeah. So, we've got this group of young Sturt boys, and we've got a couple of others that came in last year, like Tane, he came from Seaford, but they're all the same age, and Harry Rogers came a couple of years ago. They've all, within 18 and 23, they've all bought into the same thing, and they're all mates outside of soccer, and they're mates at soccer, and they're all rolling in the same direction. So, it's just one of those times where you would have been part of teams like this before, where it just all clicks.
Yeah.
And I've been in other teams where, and I'm sure you've been as well, where it doesn't click and you get little factions forming, and that's when it doesn't go well. Yeah, and it happens. It does happen. It happens. I've been here 11 years. It's happened. Yeah.
I was going to say, tell me a club that it hasn't happened at. That's for sure.
Exactly. But for whatever reason, and we've got John and JB, and you know what John's like, obviously. And
I know both of them.
Yeah,
I used to, believe it or not, I guess I played with JB at Raiders in those pre-season cups at Blue Eagles. So,
right, yeah. No, and JB, he's excellent, but he, both of them just don't take any crap. They are, they call it like it is. And JB, probably, this is hard to say, but maybe a little bit more than John. And John's pretty much calling it the way it is. But JB does call it the way it is, and he just doesn't let people get away with it. And they have a very high standard, and they make sure that we. Even we just won the league, and Tuesday night we're out there. We had Monday off, which was very fortunate, but Tuesday night we're getting flogged because that's the standard they set. And I think the main thing is everyone's just bought in. Everyone gets along. We get along in the change room. We get along outside the change room. So sometimes it just clicks, and there's not. I don't know. Yeah, there's not much you can do about it. It's just the right mix, I think. I know if you agree, Lockie.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I think we've been fortunate with the players that have come in, that they're either well established or they've got buy-in straight away. So there's never been any question of commitment or anything like that. I think probably if you look through as well, when the going gets tough, although luckily we've been fortunate this year, we've been winning a lot, but when it's tough, some players might I'm a bit sore, I'm a bit injured here or there, and filter out. But I think we've had an unbelievable buy-in, commitment to training. We were only talking about it Tuesday night at training was for the first 3 weeks or something. I don't think we touched the ball. We just got flogged. We just ran, and everyone just kept showing up. Everyone kept turning up. There was no one pulling out. So I think from that instance, everyone went through the hard bit. Everyone looked around and saw that everyone else was buying in, and that was it. Like as Alex was saying, we were all rowing in the same direction. So yeah.
There was a few comments will we ever see a ball again? But we still kept up and running. But
yeah, a few of the new boys were a bit shocked, as we were like, "What's going on this year?" But it's worked.
I'll say it very much reminds me of an old school pre-season that John would have done many, 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 many times. That's for sure.
Yes, but look, it's worked.
But the proof is in the pudding. It's worked. You guys have premiership winners before 4 games. We're still 4 games to go, so proof's in the pudding right there. The other thing I was going to ask is, I'm just trying to remember the question now because I did think of it. Give me a sec. I will come up with it. I was going to ask you something about John, actually, but I can't remember what it was now.
I've got one in the meantime. Obviously, Marc, other people in the league are a bit critical about how the league winners have to still play in the final series and go through that, even though they're promoted. And we've seen in the past, especially in the state league, how the team that gets promoted usually doesn't really make the grand final, or when they do, it's a boring one. But of course, for you, Lachlan, and for you, Alex has had great memories in that 2017 one, obviously scoring. Lachlan missed out on the 2021. But how important is that for you guys then, especially for you, Lachlan? You want to get back on that main stage. You want to play in a grand final maybe even having the captain's armband, you never know. But how important is that for you guys? And do you think that you guys will still have that same drive in these last 4 games and then into the final series as well, where you wouldn't write you guys off and you guys want to it's another trophy up for grabs? That's the only thing I can say as well, is for a club that's as young as Sturt as well, what's the pity in going for another trophy? I mean, adding 2 trophies to the cabinet is better than 1. So if you're already there and you only have to play 1 or 2 games to get into a grand final, then why not give it everything? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think there's definitely more success to be had this year. Like you said, there's a final series, so why can't we achieve that? We've spoken about it as a group. We had training last night, and we've kind of reset our focus now. We've ticked off coming first past the post, but there's still more success to be had. We're still as driven as we were before we were first past the post. So I think definitely we want to get to finals. We want to go through finals, and we want to go through, and we want to be there on the last day. And that's up for grabs, and we want to take that. You said I had the armband on Saturday. Mickey was unfortunately unavailable, but hopefully he has the opportunity to be there on that day, and we can give that to him because he missed out on Saturday night. So for us as a group, one in, all in, we want to make sure that Mickey gets his opportunity, but also we want to show to the rest of the league that we finished first for a reason, and there's more success for us to be had this year.
Yeah, it was spoken about last night that where the last however long the State League 2 has been around, whoever comes first normally somehow drops off in most of the years. I know the 2 years we got promoted, South came top twice, and both times they didn't end up making the grand final. And it's happened other years, even last year. I mean, Berks didn't end up making the grand final, but they didn't end up losing it. I think for us, we set goals throughout the year, and those goals kept changing depending on how we went. You set the goals small, and then when you achieve that goal, move on to the next one. Well, we've achieved our next goal of coming top. So our next goal is going to be make the grand final. That's a goal in itself. That's an achievement. Get yourself on the stage, and then, it's a one-off game. You never know. In a one-off game, we could lose to any team, and even this year we've had pretty much every game, except maybe a couple, have been close games. We've been taken to the wire by teams down the bottom like Cobras, Vipers, to teams up the top like, Blue Eagles beat us, Westies drew with us. So, it's a one-off game, but I think our next goal is just to make the grand final. That's an achievement. And I think, based on our performance this year, we probably deserve to be there. But, it's easy enough to say that. You've got to then go into a final series and prove it. So, yeah, that's definitely a goal for us.
Do you guys have a prediction of who you think is going to go up with you, or any clubs that maybe?
Well,
just a quick one. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a few, but just one you might have a sneaky suspicion might go up as well. I had predicted you guys and West Adelaide to go. So
yeah, it's not a bad prediction. Me and Duff, we hate betting, so one of the ones. But I wouldn't
take our tips at all. Yeah,
no, we're not good at it though. But I would chuck. I think Westies definitely. Westies are a strong side. I wouldn't count out Blue Eagles. They've had a dip in form, but they're a very strong side. They've got a lot of good players. Dante's outstanding player. Ricardo's outstanding player. Christian, who played, who I know when he played for us for a little bit, is a good player. Cooper, good player. Declan in defence, good player. They've got Omar, who's very underrated, outstanding. They've got the other Argentinian guy who seems to score goals. So they will come good, and they will be a force in finals. But I think Fulham could be. They just seem to win. They just seem to keep grinding and winning.
And they've got the form at the moment. They've peaked at the right time.
Exactly, and it's all about that. In saying that, like you said, the first year we went up, we were terrible for a long periods of that year. And the last 5 games, we didn't lose, and then we won the final series. So there's no reason
it's about peaking at the right time.
Correct. 100%. And Blue Eagles can turn it around. Even Cumbie a 6, but what if they go on a little streak? They could end up in the final for sure. So I know it's a tough one, but yeah, maybe Westies or Fulham at the current form stage.
Yeah, well, that's what I would have said. Fulham play a really good structure. Every time we play them, it's always a tough game. And you take that into finals with good players, I think they could go all right.
In saying that, I wouldn't count out Salisbury at home, a very hard team to beat. So if you get them in 2 legs, the one leg is going to be an absolute fight. And then,
you're lucky Seb's not on the show. He loves them.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think they had a. I was speaking to Gatto the other day. He messaged me, and Mitch got injured. One of their vice captain got injured. On the
Mitch.
week.
Bad break.
Yeah,
very bad break. We spoke about it the other day. I saw the footage, and I said to the boys, I said that I want to mention the show, and I said, but please don't show the footage. It's just
sad,
something we
isn't
don't need to see.
Yeah, it's
We
unfortunate
were like,
stuff.
it is.
He's a great bloke, and like we know, Lockie and I've known him for a while.
I played juniors with him at Woodbury, so yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah.
So that sucks. But you get they also got a red card. It could just derail them a little bit. I don't know. Hopefully not, but you'll see how it goes.
And with Fulham as well, you hope the Shores doesn't come and fold you again for another season to go and play at if they go up as well. You can't just it. So
no.
It's such a pleasant place to play.
Yeah, when it's not windy and raining, which is
you have to play once.
I remembered the question I wanted to ask. We're moving on to next season. What are you guys? Would you expect any major changes, as in terms of structure or systems or gameplay, moving up into the NPL? Because that's obviously a tougher league. Would you expect to go in a little bit more, I don't know, defensive or more attacking, or do you think it will just be pretty much exactly the same? Keep what works, and then just alter it if things aren't working, or what are you thinking? What do you think John's thinking there? Should I say?
Yeah, I know he takes every game as it comes. He's pretty big on analysing each team each week and picking out his weaknesses. So I think this year we've been pretty fortunate with the squad we've had. We've been able to go in as more the aggressor, play a bit more attacking football. But, you walk into a game with 1 point, you want to make sure you walk out with 1 point as a minimum. I think that might be something we'd make sure, because as we all know, it's pretty hard to get into NPL. It's also hard the following year to make sure you stay in there. You don't, that might be a bit of a focus, is just making sure that we play each game on its merits against who we're playing against. You can't play the same way against like a State League 2 team as you do against Adelaide City, because if you do, you're going to be dealt with. So I'd like to think that we can probably take our style from this year there, though, and play with a bit more confidence, and back ourselves in, which would be good to see. But yeah, ultimately, it's like John's the coach, and he'll tell us, and we'll follow it to a T. That's how we've got here. He's told us what we've got to do, and we've just gone out there and followed it. So yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. I think credit to John. I'm pretty good friends with him, and worked with him, known him a long time. So don't like to give him too many public positives where I can. But as a coach, he's very pragmatic, and we played a certain way the first, say, 10, 11 games, and I got injured. I had a big injury. We got 2 red cards, and he changed formation the way we played for 6 or 7 games to suit the players we had and the teams we were playing. And then I'm back, and we've got some other players back, so we changed back. But then halfway through the game, we changed back to the other way. So he's very pragmatic. He will figure out a way. And like I said before, I think the good thing, Teambot has all bought into John as a coach. One of the young kids, when we won on Saturday, put John on his story, was like, "Oh, my favourite coach," or something like that, like in the change room, like they had 2 beers in their hand, and we ripped him a little bit. We're like, probably a fine, you can't be publicly doing that with the coach. But that everyone's bought in. So if he tells us to play 6 at the back and I've got to go play in a sweeper role, then I'm not gonna smile when I do it, but I'll do it for him, because we've all bought in, and he's the coach, and yeah.
Jeez, a sweeper role. There's a throwback. Yeah. Great to see a sweeper role. Wow.
That's what I was doing in like under 10s, because I was too short to play centre back. So sweeper, yeah.
It's a long time ago, that one.
Very long time.
And the success doesn't stop with you guys as well. Your women's team are fighting for a league title as well. Of course, that'd be massive if you both get promoted. I'm pretty sure that'd be unprecedented, both teams of one club getting promoted in the same year. Obviously, but as well with that goes along with that. I mean, you guys have a lot of close connections with that team. Your former assistant in Frank Tiboldi taking charge of that team as well. With a lot of players as well, similarly to your team, they've stayed along since they've been relegated there. They've stayed along years since they've had their women's program. And just for the South, it would be massive to see a team, both you guys and them, go up into the leagues after seeing a couple of years where a couple of Southern teams been relegated. Some have been disbanding in the Women's State League as well. But how close of a bond do you guys have with the women's team, and how close are you to watch their journey getting promoted again, potentially?
You want to go or you want me to go?
Yeah, I could go. Yeah, I think it's excellent to see, the girls bouncing back after getting relegated, and, Frank taking charge down there as well. They train after us on a Monday, so we're always crossing paths and checking in, and it's good to see when they're up and about. And I know there was a few of them around like Saturday celebrating as well. So it'll be great to see them if they do get that far to have their chance at redemption and get promoted. And I'm sure if they do, our team will be out there supporting them as well. And like I said, it'd be great for the club. 2 teams in 1 year. Like, what a story! So it'd be good to see both teams back up in the NPL next year.
Yeah, it'll make Prezzo night a bit more fun if we're both winners.
Yeah, sure.
No, it's good. Like, I reckon I message Frank every Friday. They play Friday. I message him every Saturday. How'd you go? What happened? I had to one game last year. Frank got suspended, so he asked me to go sit on the bench for them. So because he was like, "Oh, I'll tell you what I want," and like before the game, and can you just make sure it gets done? So I actually had to like help coach them one game last year. So I know some of the girls there, and they're a real good bunch, and they committed to Frank like we're committed to John. So I think they'll be fine. I think the way they're looking, they look like they might come first, but they're definitely likely to come second for sure. And so it just depends who they get in that playoff game.
Yeah. It looks like they might have Adelaide Uni at the stage of the season in that if they stay in second in that playoff. And we all saw what Uni did last year in their playoff game. They scored in the 94th minute, which saved their skin, to be honest. That one. So. Fingers crossed. We'll see what happens, but only 3 points behind, so it's not a huge gap. It's just one game, and it's anything can happen really with still I think 3 or 4 games to go. So I'll be cheering for Frank. Hopefully, played against Frank many years ago, so always a good lad.
How old was Frank when you played against him? Was he young and wild?
How old was I? I would have been about 21 or 22. So 2005, we played against each other at Hindmarsh. He was left back. I was right-sided wing back, and we come up against each other in the cup final. So that was a good day. He scared the crap out of me back then.
Oh, I could imagine. Yeah, I wouldn't want to come up against.
Still does sometimes.
I tell you what, it was just after he'd come off the NSL, like because he was at the NSL before that, and and it was just scary coming up against him. He was solid, and I was like. 21-year-old kid just trying to match him, and I was just like, "Oh, that was a tough day." Yeah, no,
I would not want to be a winger against Frank at any time. No, wouldn't be something. If he followed through with any of the advice he gave me, then no, I would not want to be.
Oh yeah,
it would have hurt me for sure.
Yeah, finally for me, I guess going into this next season as well. I mean, we saw when you guys came up from the NPL. The second time you guys got Corinna, that all got produced, and you finally had some seasons there in the top league. Can we expect any more upgrades, developments at Corinna for this next year, or is there anything in the works maybe you could mention? I mean, I did hear about maybe female change rooms being added or created as well, specific to them, but is there anything else? Is there a Fusco end in the works? Is there a 10 years club in the corner maybe? Is there anything like that maybe you guys could talk about?
In the off season, we upgraded the lights, which was good. So we're allowed to play like senior men's football there, which is really good. We've also they put in a cool room in the kitchen. So when we did the initial development, we didn't have enough money to fit out the kitchen. Like, we had enough money to do the 2-story thing and the pitch, and they're the important things. But now, as we've been going, we've been trying to upgrade and add to it, and finish it off. So we added the scoreboard, added the cool room, and I think the next one on the agenda is fitting out the kitchen, which is started now. I think I've got a meeting with someone on Friday about it. That'll be the next thing. Making sure inside and getting some, of our flags and trophies and historic things up on the walls in Corinna, making it look like it's like when you go to, even Salisbury, they had stuff all over Burton there. You go to Campbelltown, they've got stuff all over the walls. Blue Eagles the same in the cupboards. Metro, you go there and you feel like, oh yeah, we're in there. Things where, unfortunately, well, Fulham might have changed it now, but, when you used to play at Shaw's before, you can't put anything in the wall. So you're in a function room. Yeah, there's nothing you can do. So I think that'll be one key goal in the off-season, to get some stuff on the walls, make it feel a bit more stirred.
I think that'd be a great addition if you can get some of those trophy cabinets in, because you've got trophies there. get stuff up on the wall, and really start to make it feel homely, and people walk in and go, actually, as you said, you walk in that metro hallway, and it's like, my God, there's trophies everywhere, but it feels like you go in and you go, it can be imposing for an opposition team to walk in and go,
Yeah.
"Ooh."
Yeah, definitely.
And that's what you guys need to create. I think that's a great move. I think if you can get that would just add to the whole development there. It'd be fantastic.
100% agree.
Great.
All right. Well, if that's all the questions we have, and that's it from you, Marc, as well. We didn't get David on, unfortunately, tonight, but I'm sure we'll see him in the future. But just from me and from the One Game at a Time podcast team, thank you guys for joining us here in the interview. We'll keep tabs on your season as well. We might get out some games to commentate near the end of the year as well. But yeah, thank you for joining us and really supporting our podcast by coming on. And yeah, we'll hopefully good luck for the rest of the season. And we'll see you in the NPL next year. And we'll be at least one of us will be at your games pretty much every week. So that's thank you from me. Anything from you, Marc?
That might be me because it's closest to home. So we'll see how we go.
Very good.
But just want to say congratulations.
Heard some former players who wanted to get on as well. So
yeah,
we'll have to make sure we reserve that co-com seat as well for Daniel Costello maybe.
Yeah, definitely need to get
I'm sure
there for sure.
I reckon he'll jump on. But no, I just wanted to say congratulations. Outstanding season. First season for a new manager. You couldn't have asked for anything better. So congratulations on the title or the premiership win. All the best for the finals, and hopefully we'll see you in the GF at Service FM in whenever that is, at the end of September or whatever. Whenever they decide to book that in, I don't know the dates, but at least your system isn't as convoluted as State League 2, so you're all good.
Yeah. I did have a look at theirs. That didn't make sense, so I just stopped looking at it. Yeah.
All right, mate. I'm still can't work it out. And I've been looking at it for 6 months. So, but no, look, congratulations. All the best for the remainder of the season. And yeah, we'll hopefully see you in the grand final.
Yeah, thanks, fellas. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having us on. Appreciate it.
I just hit top bins, 1-2 touch, yeah, we're locked in. I got the skills to make the girls sing, and the geezers too, yeah, we're doing this thing.